welcome back everyone to the All Things Education podcast, where we learn tips and tricks to achieve our best in secondary and tertiary education. If you are new to this channel, hello, my name is Mary Coleman, and as always, I am so excited to welcome you to the episode today. Okay, so today we're actually going to be talking about how plans don't always work out. Specifically, we're going to be talking to an amazing guest. Her name is Lisa, and she received an ATAR of 96.20. So you may remember her from our previous episode, where we actually spoke to 4 different individuals who all got an ATAR over 95. But even though Lisa is doing what she absolutely is super passionate about and will be brilliant at, it actually wasn't her first preference. So this episode, we are going to be exploring how great our backup options can be and how they can actually end up being the perfect career pathway. All right, let's jump right into the episode. Let's get educated. Okay, so just before we jump into our discussion with Lisa today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my personal story. So I didn't actually choose my backup option. I didn't really have a backup option actually. And I really just wanted to stress to you guys that it is super important to have that backup option, to have that backup plan. As we'll hear with Lisa in a minute, it's really easy to not get into the course that you want to, and things can happen that you just were totally not expecting, and that means you have to fall back on your backup plan, which is why it is extremely important to have a solid plan B option. My one and only goal was just to get into psychology, and I did in the end, which was great, but if I didn't and I didn't have that backup option, I'm not really sure what I would have fallen back on, and that could have been really catastrophic for me. So I would really, guys, like just to stress the importance of having that backup option. Okay, so now we've got that out the way and you guys have heard from me what not to do. Let us welcome Lisa, our guest on the podcast today. So how are you doing, Lisa?
Hi, so I'm good.
Nice.
Well, actually, I did get COVID about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I'm recovering now.
That's
I'm
good.
just, experiencing some post-viral cough.
Oh no.
After COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, so throughout this episode, if I do cough, then just don't mind me.
Yeah, for sure.
Apologize in advance.
No, that's totally fine. Do not stress at all. Okay, so let's just talk about, just to start things off, what profession did you want to go into?
So initially I wanted to go into dentistry or oral health, but I didn't get in.
Yeah, wow. And how long have you been wanting to do dentistry / oral health for?
I guess maybe since year 10
Okay.
or year 11. Well, I think maybe year 10 because during that time we had to do this subject called PLP.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was this stands for, but it was just like you just had to like kind of plan out your
personal learning plan.
Yeah, like you had to plan out your future somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. And that's sort of when you figured out that's what you wanted to do?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, like I actually wanted to do I wanted to go to a dental clinic for my work experience.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is for some reason I couldn't get into any dental clinic, like nowhere would accept me. So then the only place that accepted me was my primary school.
Right, yeah, same.
My old primary school. So I went there instead.
Cool, yeah, nice. And what was your motivation to explore dentistry and kind of explore that field?
I think, I'm not too sure, but it's quite random. I think it's because there's this one old scholar that went to our school.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, I kind of just look up to her a lot.
Yes.
So I looked up to her and I was like, oh, I want to do dentistry one day as well. And so I kind of just told my parents that I want to do dentistry, and they're like, yeah, do it. It's such a great profession. Good pay. And yeah, so that's why I wanted to get into that field.
And when your parents encourage a certain occupation, it does sometimes seem like it's the right choice because your parents are endorsing it. So yeah, I completely understand that whole side of things, yeah.
And plus, like in year 11, during like research project, like classes, like I would finish my work early and I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
So I would go on YouTube and like for some reason, I would get like video recommendations of like teeth extractions, putting braces on.
Yeah, it's a sign.
Yeah, so I thought it was a sign. So I was like, I watched it and I got, I was quite interested. And yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So could you talk to us a little bit about how that didn't really work out for you?
So to get into, to get like an offer in um those kind of professions,
Yeah, the medical
you
field.
have to do the UCAT,
Mm.
and if you pass the UCAT, then you get an interview offer.
Yeah,
So with me, I didn't get a good UCAT score,
right.
so I never got an interview offer. So that was an option for me
Yeah.
at the end of the year to, like,
Mm.
the career that I wanted to go into. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And Lisa, I just did want to mention as a side note
Mm-hmm.
to the listeners, if you guys are interested in finding out more about applying for medicine and applying for the UCAT and kind of that whole side of things, you can check out our previous episode where we're speaking to Justina. But yes, Lisa, I completely agree. And the UCAT is so competitive, you would have sort of wanted to have some backup options, I
I had a lot
guess.
of backup
Yeah,
options actually,
that's so good.
because I was quite indecisive. I was like, some of my backup options were like, I wanted to go interstate or do occupational therapy, pharmacy, teaching, like just it's a bunch. I could literally list everything. But I thought that I would have gone to like a health course because my sister is a nurse. So I think I had a lot of like expectations from my family that I have to go into, like, a health
Yes.
profession.
Yes, and family expectation plays such a pressure point when you're choosing a career because if you've got, like you said, an older sister or older
Mm-hmm.
siblings and family, friends, aunties, uncles, cousins, whatever, who are in a certain line of field, it definitely plays a big part on what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Because you feel this need to kind of do what they're doing as well because they're doing it in a way. And it's not necessarily peer pressure, but it is that kind of familial expectation. So I totally get that. So I guess how did you choose your backup option out of all of the options that you had? Was there anything that inspired you? So
Yeah.
kind of yeah, what how did you
Mm-hmm.
figure that out?
So one of like the backup options that, I was quite solid, like,
Mm,
I knew that I kind of liked,
yeah,
was teaching out of, OT or pharmacy,
yeah,
etc.
yeah.
I knew that I like science. Like, my favorite subject is chemistry. And I was quite good with, like, help deliver like content to other
Yeah,
people.
okay,
Yeah, so I did
cool.
some tutoring, not tutoring, I was just helping out like my friends in
Yeah,
high
yeah.
school. And yeah, I had a friend actually, so she's studying surgery at James Cook University this year.
Wow, yeah.
So by the time that episode comes out, I think she's already in Cairns. Yeah, so
Wow.
just a shout out to my friend Monica. So
Yeah.
she's the one who actually pushed me to, pursue teaching.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And I remember at graduation as well, the old scholar who was Dux one year, how she spoke to us about courses and choosing the right career for you. Yeah.
I was quite inspired. Like, she said something about how just do a course that will make you happy, and that you don't need to care about what other people think about it, etc. You just do what you love.
Yeah, something you're
Yeah.
passionate about. Yeah. And did that inspire you to then go after and pursue teaching?
So the next day I
Yeah.
literally emailed my maths teacher.
Yeah.
So I emailed my maths teacher because on my grad night I was given the Ducks of General Maths award. Well, I got joint ducks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I just emailed my maths teacher and I kind of just thanked her. And then she said, "Oh yeah, so if you want to like pursue teaching, I have plenty of resources, and just reach out when you need
Wow.
help." And I was like, "Wow, this is a sign." you know.
Yes, yes. No, literally, it's all coming to place. That's so good.
So yeah, so that's how
Nice.
I was like, this is my solid plan B.
Yes, that's so good.
hmm
So, I guess what made you choose secondary students and wanting to pursue secondary teaching over primary school or preschool?
Yeah, I don't know. I think when I was little, I always looked up to my teachers. So there was more primary teaching, but I knew that I didn't want to be a primary school teacher. And then I went to high school, and then, all my teachers were great. Like, I loved every single one of them. And plus, I did some tutoring. Oh, well, again, not tutoring. I was just helping out the girls. And yeah, it just made me feel good and like I'm helping people.
Yeah, that's so good.
You know?
Yeah. It's such a nice feeling when you're like, just, I don't know, giving to other people, and it's just, I don't even know how to explain it. You just give to other people and it just feels so nice.
Yeah.
But yeah. So do you have any plans to pursue something similar to teaching like this year, like be a tutor for students or anything like that? Or are you going to jump into university?
I will be doing a double degree. So, Bachelor of Secondary Teaching with a Bachelor of Science. So, alongside, I will be
Cool.
teaching at a Vietnamese ethnic school on Saturdays. So, I will just be looking after like the little kids, like the young little kids. Yeah, so just to get some classroom experience.
Yeah, nice.
Good. I'm also doing some tutoring. So I currently have 6 students.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just working as an academics tutor.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to get an SSO role.
Yeah, and just did you want to explain kind of
to the
yeah
listeners who don't know what SSO is? I think it's a student support officer.
Yeah. I didn't even know what it stood for, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I think there's like a few. I think it stands for a few things, but yeah, that's my understanding.
Yeah, nice. And is it sort of like a support helper for students with disabilities or just struggle in class?
I guess a little bit of both, or like whoever needs assistance, like just like another tutor, I guess. But I need to do more research in the role. Yeah.
Yeah. So sort of just like an extra pair of hands, an extra support network for the students.
Yeah, I think probably.
Yeah.
But I'm quite worried because of COVID right now. Everything is so crazy, and it's like,
So
are you gonna let me
true.
back in, etc.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, that's fair. Back into the schools, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's really piqued your interest in particularly focusing on secondary school and focusing on the secondary students who are about to graduate?
Well, I just graduated high school, so that's still fresh. It will be easy for me to talk to secondary kids instead of like primary children. Like, I don't know how to talk to little kids, so like my personality, I love talking about like sometimes when I'm just in the car and going to the beach, I would literally explain things about ocean acidification. People, like little kids, don't understand that.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to explain it to them if they don't understand the concept in the first place.
Yeah, if I become like a chem teacher and I, talk about ocean acidification to like my students, they would understand what I'm talking about. So yeah, I think I'm a nerd, to be honest.
Everyone has their inner nerd, trust me. I think that is really fair what you're saying because you are focusing more on the advanced knowledge. So the primary school teachers will instill that, fundamental, that basic knowledge about the ocean and, how the ocean works. And then you're kind of jumping in and going, okay, here's the chemistry behind it. So it's great that you figured out your niche in the area that you really want to hone in on for the students. That's nice. It's awesome. Alrighty guys, so we have not quite finished the episode just yet. We've got a couple of announcements and final comments to make, so stay tuned until the very end. Lisa has not finished talking yet, but we hope you are really enjoying this episode so far. I know I am taking up so many new tips and tricks, and I have found that Lisa has such a passion and love for teaching, and she's discovered that this backup option of hers is actually working so well in her favor. So amazing job to her, and I hope that you guys, if you are considering your backup option or are choosing your backup option, you're able just to take a little bit of inspiration from Lisa and just kind of see where she's taken it and how the decision-making process went about for her. Anyway guys, let's jump right back into the episode. Just wanted to take a quick break and let you guys know that if you aren't already following our Instagram page, definitely go check that out. You can find it at All Things Education 21, and please, it'd be amazing if you could spread the word about this podcast. We would love you guys to spread the word about it to your friends, your colleagues, your family, anyone that you can think of. Spread the word about this because this is definitely something that everyone needs to be educated about. Alright, let's jump right back into the episode. Lisa, did you have any final comments or anything like that for those considering their backup career or undertaking it currently?
Well, I guess with like the year 12s, when you're listening to this podcast right now, like I think it's still a bit early for you to like choose your career.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I still don't know if I'll be sticking with this career like forever.
Forever, yeah.
So, like even if your first preference doesn't work out, maybe your second preference doesn't work out either, but you just gotta, give it some time and just don't stress over it because, life is quite unexpected.
Definitely.
Like everything's just thrown into your face.
Yeah, and there are always so many different options.
Yeah.
And all the different pathways you can choose. It's just all up in the air in year 12 and in your secondary education, and you only really have to make a decision, I guess, when, you're entering into tertiary education and you've always got things like a gap year or whatever you can do, and you've got months to decide before you really have to definitely choose a course. So that is amazing. Wow. Okay. So thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us today. We really appreciate, the tips and tricks and the advice that you've shared, opening up your story.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. No, anytime. Fun. Yeah, it was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on a second time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just you shared some amazing knowledge and just kind of you've talked about your own personal story. So thank you so much for opening up about that. And I'm sure that all the people that are listening to this right now are able just to really see that taking a backup option and choosing that backup pathway can definitely still lead you to the career you want. And if it doesn't, then, there are so many other ways you can, get into your preferred career. So thank you so much and definitely stay in touch.
Yeah.
Alrighty guys, well that is actually all from us today at All Things Education, and if you like this episode, be sure to let us know. I think the main takeaway tip for me was definitely you need to listen to yourself, your own heart, and really find out where your passion lies in the career you want to be choosing. And of course you can talk to others about the career you should be doing, such as your career counselor and people that can kind of guide you along that pathway to identify your interests and your hobbies. But when it all comes down to it, I think what Lisa was really trying to get at is that you need to listen to yourself and choose something that's going to make you happy and something that you're going to be passionate about and will really enjoy. Of course, you do need to take into account the things like salary and workload and if you want to be balancing a family life or other hobbies, but really just focusing on what career you want to be doing and choosing it only because you enjoy it and you enjoy learning and helping people or whatever aspect you enjoy about the career you've chosen. So don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcasting platform, and just remember guys that the advice given on this channel and on our socials is general information only, and if you ever have any specific personal health or well-being or educational issues, definitely just reach out to a professional like your GP, a school counsellor, or just a trusted person in your life before making any final decisions. Please do not take this episode as specific personal advice, but hopefully now you have a little bit more information about the topic that we've talked about today and how plans don't always work out and how backup plans can, really be helpful and we might have to use them sometimes. Alrighty, so thank you so much for listening to the All Things Education podcast. I am your host, Mary Coleman. For more tips and tricks, definitely go check out our Instagram page at All Things Education 21. If you have any inquiries, you can send us a DM through our Instagram, or you can email us at allthingseducation21@gmail.com. Alrighty guys, we shall see you in the next episode. Don't forget to stay educated and have an amazing day.